Hey, good afternoon, guys. This is Spirit Journey. Today is May 17th, 2016, and it's about 10:30 a.m. I have to make a saline solution. A saline solution is water and salt, and it's an isotonic solution, meaning that the balance between the particles of the solute is the same as the solvent. The ratio to make this saline solution is 1 cup of water, and I'm using distilled water, and you use 1 teaspoon of sea salt. Okay, well, I have to back up a little bit. The reason why I'm doing this is to clean my nose piercing, and the reason for this nose piercing is a story in itself. About a month ago, I had to remove my old nose ring. It was the hoop type. I had to remove it because my nose was getting very sensitive. And even though like I would clean the piercing, it would seem to get better and then it'll flare up again. And so I removed it. I thought maybe my nose just needs a breather and it just needs some time to heal alone. That was my logic. So what I should have done was to go back to the shop that did my nose piercing. The last time I had my nose ring changed was about, it could have been 7 months ago. And I had a hoop put in that last time versus a stud, with a straight post. And it just seemed like the hoop, I thought it would be easier to clean, and it just got sensitive when the hoop moved a little bit, shifted, and it would get an irritation inside the nose. So I winded out removing the nose hoop, and maybe 2-3 days later when I tried to recheck the piercing, well, the hole closed up. And I took that as an omen initially that, my nose just doesn't want a ring in it. So about month later, I was missing the nose ring, and I saw all these people with beautiful nose piercings and their rings in it, and I said, well, let me, try one more time. So I called up the place, and the person that did my nose, I was told, would be there, the next day at an earlier time. So I thought, okay, I'll have George re-pierce my nose. Well, he'll look at it first, and I'll take his professional opinion, or advice, I should say. So I went there, and he did say there was some scarring inside the nose, and he advised that it's still a candidate to for that hole to be pierced again. And I made sure I reminded him how many times it was already pierced. It was pierced 2 prior times, and he said it should be okay. And so we proceeded. I didn't take a video of this third piercing, but this is the post piercing from yesterday, the May 16th. And so he just said, just be careful, to make sure I clean it. Also, the other difference with this nose piercing is the type of ring that I chose. This one, he used a very long post, so that if my nose starts to swell a little bit, get a little irritated, in part of the healing process, that it's long enough to permit expansion of the tissue around the post. And also I decided to get a solid 18-karat gold post rather than these surgical steel post. And so I chose that because regarding the 18 karat gold, I'm thinking that maybe a pure grade of metal, in this case gold, maybe my nose might respond better to it. Maybe it just didn't like the surgical steel or whatever. So that's what I did. Okay, well, I checked online how to make a saline solution. The saline solution is to clean the piercing and to promote healing. So what I use, well, the recipe that I found online required 1 cup or 8 ounces of water, and in this case I decided to use distilled water for the purity factor, and then it also said to use 1 teaspoon of sea salt, and I decided to use, well, I have sea salt at home, and I decided to use this. I have this black sea salt. Okay, I used that, and then I used this bottle of distilled water. Okay, I got a measuring cup. This is 8-ounce measuring cup, and this is just a plain glass. And so I measured the distilled water in the cup. I poured in the glass. Also to note that both of these containers were sterilized. I used rubbing alcohol. I think it's a 90% alcohol versus the standard 70 or 75% rubbing alcohol. And this is a 1/2 teaspoon. So I used 2 of these. 2 of these will be equivalent to 1 teaspoon. And I made sure also I use rubbing alcohol and wiped it dry. And then once, I mixed everything in the cup, and then I put the saline solution that you see here in a regular glass container. It still has the old label, but I made sure that I cleaned it, and I cleaned inside with the rubbing alcohol and wiped it dry. And so, it's it's all uniformed in there. And then I don't have gauze with me, but I do have a cotton ball. Okay, I should be using a gauze, but I have to use what I have and just be careful. And why I say I have to be really careful if I'm using a gauze, a cotton ball versus a gauze, because of the fibers on it, and the fibers can get tangled onto the post. So this is a diamond post, okay, and this is the piercing, okay, and it was had a little bit of blood around it when I woke up this morning. It looked a little, little red. I might have maybe hit my nose by accident when I was sleeping. Yeah, so I take the cotton ball into the saline solution. It has to be wet because the cotton ball has to be saturated, because it has to be wet enough to get inside the piercing of the nose. Okay, so then I just dab the solution on the nose, and I'm supposed to keep this on this for 10 to 20 minutes. And he had said before to do this maybe twice a day, when I wake up and then when I go to sleep. So this is the story of my nose piercing, and I'm happy I got it done. And I have to make sure that I'm careful with the nose piercing. George at Jewels 32 in Manhattan, in the Village, he advised to come back in 1 month, and he'll re-examine the piercing, and he'll just make sure everything's okay. And he also advised that for me to wait a little longer before changing the nose ring to, especially if it's a hoop ring that I want. He said because the hoop ring is curved and the piercing is straight, that it might have caused irritation because it has to change the shape of the piercing and accommodate the curvature of the ring, nose ring. So I'll just keep, I decide I want to just keep this at least a straight post in for as long as possible, maybe even close to a year before I try to attempt to use a ring shaped, a hoop shaped ring. So this is my story. I hope I was able to provide some valuable information. And you know what else regarding the saline solution? Okay, I did use the black sea salt, but you could use the regular, the light color one as well. I just used what I had, and it's cheaper to make. If you buy the saline solution in a drugstore, you're going to pay a lot of money, and if you buy it at these body piercing shops, it's just a lot of money. It's like $9 or even $15. So here, if you could just buy distilled water and have on hand sea salt, you can make your own. So this is what I want to share with you, and I open any comments that you can write below on this post, and you can share this video with friends or family members, and it's free to subscribe, and once again to give me the thumbs up. Peace to you guys. Bye bye.